Welcome back, everybody. This is Game 4 in a best-of-5 between Asta and ABR. Obviously, if we're in a Game 4, it means the score is 2-1 for somebody, and somebody happens to be Astamatitos. He dropped that first game, but he has won the last 2 games, and now ABR needs to win this one and a potential 5th game to not be our third-place finisher. Now, granted, should he go out in third, he has made money no matter what, so this is just a matter of trying to make more money. But nevertheless, he's got something to play for. There is real cash money on the line. Asta trying to push him over the edge of the cliff and make his way to the grand finals, where he or ABR will face Triangles, who has not lost yet in this tour. So here is the 4th game between these players. Switching sides for continuity once again, it'll be Asta on the bottom and ABR on the top, as it has been throughout the series, and both players opting for the T-Tower lead. Hidden Power there. Hidden Power against T-Tower, I guess, is just HP Grass, right? But Skarm comes in for Asta, and now Metagross comes in. That gets taunted, which was aimed at Skarm to prevent spikes. ABR stays in with the faster T-Tower, gets a Flamethrower and a Burn. There's going to be a critical hit through the Burn, so hacks for both players, but the more relevant hacks for ABR, in my opinion. And here comes Kuhn for Asta. Asta, of note, has gone with a Skarm Bliss team 3 times out of 3 up to this point. And he's already got half of it now, so this very well may be a 4th Skarm Bliss in a row for Asta. Selby was on the bad end of a crit on the way in. He's going to Calm Mind here. Skarmory comes in. The obvious play is to Whirlwind. And Hidden Power Fire going to get him on the way out. Okay, Roar, same shit. But phasing move here, and that's going to get rid of the Selby. Starmie is what he blows out, and Surf is what he goes for. That does not mean that he doesn't have Thunderbolt, but he doesn't show it there. Ice Beam instead, 27%, and Asta believed that he in fact does not have Thunderbolt. That would have been a nice little mind game for ABR if he actually did have it and he got him there. But instead, it's going to be the knockout after 1 layer of spikes, and Jolteon comes in for Asta. This looks like finally the first non-Blissey team that Asta has had throughout the set. And the answer to Jolteon is going to be the weakened Selby. Better hope he doesn't have HP Ice. And he does have HP Ice. That might be bad for ABR. Giga Drain there going to chunk him, but that's going to put him nowhere near the HP that he needs to be in order to survive another HP Ice. And it's going to be a 2nd knockout for Jolteon. Seems to be giving ABR a real hard time here. He looked pretty good in the early stages of this game, but now all of a sudden he's behind again. Jolteon has Thunder Wave. And it's going to hit Jirachi. Psychic comes down in an irrelevant Specs drop. I mean, it could matter if the Jolteon Baton passes out, I suppose. And he does, so he's going to pass the Specs drop with him. And that's going to make him take more damage here from the Ice Punch than he would have normally. So I guess the Specs drop, in a vague sense, did matter here. ABR sniffs out the Boom and goes to Gengar here. And we've got ourselves a 4-4 situation. Dugtrio comes in, dangerous for ABR. DD Tar, haven't seen one of those all set, but here it is. It's going to survive Earthquake here. 88% is a lot, but he's going to live, and a 2nd Dragon Dance comes down. Here's Gengar, Rock Slide there. ABR might have just choked the game. He might have needed that Gengar to have any hope to get out of this. All of a sudden, it looks like a DD Tar sweep for Asta, and that is exactly what happens. This game, the fastest and most one-sided of all. ABR going to concede on turn 20. He's going to be swept by a DD Tar just like that. Astamatitos going to win the set 3-1. ABR is going to be our 3rd place finisher, and he had one hell of a run, looking very, very strong and respectable in ADV throughout this tour. So congratulations to ABR with his 3rd place finish. We'll get 20% of whatever the final prize pool ends up being. That's because we're still taking donations if you guys want to make that prize pool bigger. But I'm going to pay him out at the end of the tour, and he's going to get 20% of the pool, which is very, very cool. Yeah, the only chance ABR had in hindsight there was that Gengar. Remember, it survived at 1%, that Rock Slide. Now, granted, it was a nice prediction for Asta to go for the Rock Slide instead of Earthquake. That was the right play, and he clocks the Gengar. But what needed to happen is that ABR sacrifices something else, then goes to Gengar, and then the Gengar lives the Rock Slide, which it may or may not, but we know that it can since it did. Lives the Rock Slide, and then gets off whatever attack to finish off the T-Tar. A lot of things have to go right. Rock Slide needs to not kill you. Rock Slide needs to not crit. Rock Slide needs to not flinch. There's a lot of things that need to happen there from ABR's perspective to get out of this. But nevertheless, it was an out, and he did have a chance had he done this differently. And that's all to say nothing of the fact that Jolteon seemed really hard for ABR in this matchup. We don't know what the last poke was for Astamatitos. Asta very well may have just won anyway, even if ABR had gone down that way and gotten the T-Tar threat dealt with by doing that sequence. But as it was, he couldn't even get past the T-Tar, and the DD-Tar is going to sweep ABR out of the tour. So that sets up a really, really exciting grand finals between Asta and Triangles. Two very different players, two SPL ADV veterans, and that should just be a really, really good set. That is a best of 5, and should Asta win the initial set, there will be a second best of 5. So that's going to be really, really entertaining, and I can't wait to see it. That'll probably happen next weekend, but in the meantime, enjoy this set. I appreciate you guys watching. Please leave a thumbs up and a comment if you'd like to. Subscribe if you've not done so already. Really trying to build up my numbers, and I will see you guys for the grand finals of CALLOUS Invitational 3.